The last copy. It was well past midnight when I stumbled upon the old, dusty copy machine tucked away in the far corner of the office storage room. My eyes were bleary from staring at spreadsheets all day, but I couldn't shake the strange feeling that had drawn me to it. I had never noticed it before, yet it looked ancient, like it belonged in a museum rather than an office. Out of sheer boredom, I decided to test it out just for kicks. As I pressed the worn button, the machine hummed to life, far louder than any copier I'd ever used. It clunked and rattled, as if struggling with each sheet of paper. After a few seconds, a single page slid out into the tray. There was no document, just 3 words, printed in bold, black ink. "Watch out, David." I stared at the page, confused. David was one of my coworkers, a quiet guy who kept to himself, but we had shared a few coffee breaks. What did this mean? My first thought was that it was some kind of prank. Maybe someone in the office was playing around with this old machine, trying to spook the late workers like me. I shoved the paper into my bag, too tired to give it much thought. The next day, David didn't show up for work. That wasn't unusual. He took days off here and there, but by lunchtime, whispers started circulating. Someone had heard that David had been in an accident. My stomach tightened. I tried to shake off the unease creeping up my spine, but I couldn't ignore the coincidence. That night, curiosity got the better of me. I returned to the copy machine, feeling a pit of dread growing in my gut. This time, when I pressed the button, the machine clattered and hissed before spitting out another piece of paper. It read, "Jenny. She knows." Jenny sat a few desks away from me, always gossiping with the others. The words didn't make sense, but something deep within me stirred. Was this a warning, or something worse? The following day, Jenny wasn't at work either. People said she'd called in sick, but I knew better. It wasn't just coincidence anymore. The copy machine, it was predicting something bad. That evening, when the office was empty and the lights flickered weakly overhead, I went back. I didn't want to press the button. My hands shook as I hovered over it, but I needed to know. With a deep breath, I pushed down, and the machine sputtered as another page rolled out. "You're next." My breath caught in my throat. Panic surged through me as I dropped the paper. I could feel the air shift around me, growing colder, heavier. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end, and a soft hum filled the room. The hum of the copier, still running despite me not pressing anything. The machine whirred and groaned, spitting out sheet after sheet, each with the same message. "You're next." The pages fluttered to the floor, piling up at my feet. I backed away, my pulse racing, but then the office door slammed shut behind me with a deafening bang. A chilling breeze swept through the room, and suddenly the lights flickered out, plunging me into darkness. I could hear the machine still churning, its mechanical groans filling the air. My breath quickened as the temperature in the room plummeted. And then I saw it. A shadow shifting in the corner of the room, growing, expanding. It moved toward me, slow but deliberate, taking on a twisted, humanoid shape. I felt frozen in place, my mind screaming at me to run. But my legs wouldn't obey. The shadow stopped just before me, and in the faint light of the copy machine's glow, I saw a face. Distorted. Eyes hollow and wide, a mouth stretching into a grin far too wide to be human. "I warned them," a voice rasped, low and guttural. "They didn't listen. Will you?" Before I could react, the shadow lunged and everything went black. The next day, no one noticed my absence at first, but soon enough another copy slid from the machine reading, "Find the new hire, he's next." The office fell silent as the machine churned, its ominous warning starting all over again. The shadow lunged and I hit the floor, my breath knocked out of me. But instead of feeling pain, I was met with nothingness, complete, eerie silence. For a moment I thought I was dead. My eyes blinked open, and I found myself staring up at the dim ceiling lights of the office. The cold presence I had felt just moments ago was gone, as if it had never existed. I scrambled to my feet, my heart pounding so loud it drowned out the hum of the copy machine. The papers that had littered the floor were gone, leaving only an unsettling calm in their place. My hands shook as I grabbed my bag and rushed toward the exit, my mind spinning with questions. Had it all been in my head? Was I losing my grip on reality, or had something truly sinister just spared me? The moment I stepped out of the office, my phone buzzed. Hesitantly, I pulled it from my pocket, only to find a message from an unknown number. "Don't run. It's not over." I stared at the screen, feeling the blood drain from my face. I wanted to throw my phone to shut it all out, but I couldn't. Something had followed me, and I wasn't sure if it was a ghost, a curse, or worse. The days that followed were filled with paranoia. Every time the phone buzzed, I jumped. I couldn't bring myself to return to the office, and yet the messages never stopped. Each one, short and cryptic, spoke of the next target. Check on Jenny. David had secrets. They're all connected. But connected to what? What had the copier truly been trying to reveal? One night, as I lay in bed, my phone buzzed again. Dreading what I would see, I reluctantly glanced at the screen. This time, the message wasn't a name or a vague warning. It was an address, one I recognized all too well. "The truth is waiting. Come to the office." Against every instinct screaming at me to stay away, I knew I had no choice. The truth, whatever it was, had to be uncovered. But as I stood outside the darkened office building, staring at the familiar windows, one thing was clear. Someone or something was still inside waiting for me. Let me know in the comments below if you want to hear more from this story. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.